Joan Laporta breaks his silence after Lionel Messi's surprise visit to Camp Nou, between emotion, nostalgia, and realism. This Wednesday, Joan Laporta, president of FC Barcelona, spoke for the first time since Lionel Messi's unexpected and symbolic visit to the construction site of the new Camp Nou. A gesture that immediately set social media ablaze, sparking both emotion among supporters and a wave of speculation about the relationship between the club and its former prodigy. In a measured yet sincere statement, Laporta shed light on the behind-the-scenes of this event while clarifying Barcelona's current stance toward its Argentine legend. Contrary to what some might imagine, Messi's visit was not coordinated with the club's management. Joan Laporta was clear, "I was not informed in advance. I found out the news like everyone else, after the images started circulating on social media." This revelation underscores the improvised and intimate nature of this return to the place that marked the history of modern football. The Blaugrana president made it clear that, at this stage, he has had no direct contact with Messi since this episode. "I did not send any message," he stated frankly, thus dispelling rumors of any official exchange between the two parties. For Laporta, this visit is above all an act of pure love, a return to one's roots for a player who carried Barça in his heart long after his departure. Joan Laporta did not hesitate to describe this gesture as an authentic manifestation of Barcelonism, the unbreakable bond that unites Messi with the Catalan club. "Camp Nou is his home, and it always will be," he declared emotionally, recalling that despite the years and kilometers that separate them, Messi's attachment to Barça remains intact. However, the president nuanced this relationship by pointing out that, while the emotional bond is still as strong, the institutional relationship is now simply correct, far from the intensity and complicity that characterized their collaboration during the glorious years. "It was an act of love for the club," he repeated, insisting that Messi, as an iconic figure, will always be welcome in Barcelona, regardless of his current status. Asked about the possibility of Messi returning to wear the Blaugrana colors, Joan Laporta was clear and realistic. "It is not a plausible hypothesis at this time." A response that, without being categorical, tempers the hopes of the most nostalgic supporters. The president recalled that, despite the mutual affection, sporting, financial, and regulatory constraints make such a scenario extremely complex, if not unrealistic in the immediate future. Yet, Laporta took the opportunity to reaffirm a strong commitment to organize a monumental tribute to Messi once the renovation of Camp Nou is completed. "We want an event worthy of his legend, with 105,000 supporters to officially celebrate his legacy," he announced. A promise that, if fulfilled, will mark the official reunion between Messi and the Catalan public in a setting as symbolic as it is moving. Joan Laporta also revisited Messi's controversial departure in 2021, an episode that marked a turning point in the club's recent history. "I do not regret that departure," he stated firmly, while acknowledging the pain this decision represented for supporters, players, and the club itself. "At that time, it was simply not possible," he explained, referring to the financial constraints and La Liga regulations that made his stay impossible. Nevertheless, Laporta expressed hope that the planned tribute could serve as a catalyst to strengthen the bonds between Messi and Barça. "If this tribute can help consolidate our relationship, it will be something wonderful," he added, emphasizing that the club remains open to symbolic reconciliation, even if a sporting return seems out of reach. Finally, the president took care to recall the club's current priorities. "Out of respect for Messi, but also for the professionals who are here today, I would not engage in unrealistic speculation," he specified. A statement that reflects Barca's desire to turn the page while honoring its history and to build the future without being distracted by impossible dreams. In conclusion, Messi's visit to Camp Nou will remain a powerful emotional moment, a poignant reminder of the love that binds the player to his lifelong club. But while the past is glorious, Barca's future is now being built without its historic number 10, while still reserving a place of honor for him in its history. "Messi is and will remain a legend of Barça," Laporta concluded, summing up in one sentence the very essence of this unique and complex relationship. Lionel Messi's quiet, nighttime visit to Camp Nou, a moment filled with emotion and symbolism. In the stillness of a Barcelona night, as the city slept, an event as unexpected as it was moving took place. Lionel Messi, without fanfare, returned to the construction site of the new Camp Nou. An impromptu, almost secret visit that caught even club employees off guard. According to reports from the Catalan press, the Argentine entered the work zone quietly, accompanied by a small group of close friends, as if he wanted to privately reconnect with the place that marked his career and his life. Without any official announcement or ceremony, Messi immortalized the moment by taking photos, which he later shared on his social media. These simple yet meaningful images went viral in an instant, sparking a wave of nostalgia among supporters worldwide. For Barça fans, these photos hold far more than anecdotal value. They symbolize an unbreakable bond, an eternal connection between the player and the club, beyond contracts, transfers, or the passage of time. A gesture that transcends words. Though brief, this visit had an immense impact. For thousands of supporters, seeing Messi back at Camp Nou, even amid renovation, felt like a sign from fate. This stadium, even in ruins, remains his temple, the stage for his greatest feats, the place where he wrote some of the most beautiful chapters in football history. This fleeting return reminded everyone that some relationships go beyond sports or economic logic. This simple, uncalculated gesture delighted memories and stirred buried emotions. Supporters saw more in these images than just a visit, a silent tribute, a reconnection with the soul of the club. For an entire generation of Culers, Messi represents far more than a player. He is the symbol of a golden era, the one who carried Barca's dreams on his shoulders for over a decade. A renewed hope, the long-awaited tribute. While this visit has no concrete implications for a possible sporting return of Messi, an unlikely scenario even for the most optimistic, it has reignited a different hope, the hope of one day seeing the eternal number 10 receive the tribute he deserves. Supporters, media, and even club officials agree that a monumental ceremony, with the 105,000 spectators the new Camp Nou can hold, would be the least they could do to celebrate the man who gave everything for Barca. This moment, however brief, reminded everyone that Messi has never truly left the hearts of the Culers. Even without plans to return to the pitch, his legacy remains alive, and his attachment to the club unshaken. The photos posted on his social media are not just snapshots. They are proof of enduring love, of a story that continues to unfold, even from afar. A symbol of loyalty and passion for supporters, this nighttime visit is much more than a simple stop. It is a symbol. A symbol of loyalty, passion, and legend. By setting foot on Camp Nou soil, even under construction, Messi reminded the world that some bonds never break. Whether in Miami, Paris, or Barcelona, he will forever remain Barca's prodigal son, the one who made millions of hearts vibrate and left an indelible mark on the club's history. That night, Messi did not just visit a stadium. He reconnected with a part of himself and gave supporters a taste of the magic that made them dream for so many years. And while a return as a player seems impossible, the idea of a symbolic return, for a final farewell or a solemn tribute, has never felt closer. Until that day, Culers around the world will cherish these images in their memories as a moving reminder that some legends never die. They live on through memories, emotions, and the unconditional love for a club that will never forget him. Joan Laporta speaks out on the controversy surrounding Lamine Yamal's injury: transparency, professionalism, and trust in an exceptional talent. In a context marked by tensions between FC Barcelona and the Royal Spanish Football Federation, RFEF, Joan Laporta, president of the Catalan club, spoke out to clarify misunderstandings and defend Barca's position regarding the recent injury of Lamine Yamal, one of the most promising emerging talents in world football. An issue that has fueled debates in the Spanish press in recent days, but which Laporta was determined to demystify with firmness and clarity. Flawless and transparent communication from the outset, Joan Laporta wanted to put an end to speculation by reaffirming that FC Barcelona has acted with total transparency throughout this matter. "We informed everyone as soon as we received the report from the doctor who examined Lamine," he declared, insisting that all medical information was communicated in real time to the RFEF officials. "Our doctors communicated the diagnosis immediately to the federation's professionals, and this has been the case from the beginning," he added, emphasizing that the club has nothing to hide and is not seeking any controversy. For Laporta, this issue is primarily a misunderstanding rather than a deliberate conflict. "We do not want any kind of controversy or conflict," he hammered home, recalling that Barca's absolute priority remains the health and well-being of its players, and particularly Lamine Yamal, a gem the club intends to protect above all else. An impeccable medical procedure. The Blaugrana president took care to detail the procedure followed since the injury was detected, to demonstrate the club's professionalism. "The specialist came on Monday, made his diagnosis, prescribed the appropriate treatment, and we followed the medical recommendations to the letter," he explained. A rigorous approach, where each step was documented and shared with the relevant authorities, including the Spanish Federation. Laporta acknowledged that the coincidence between this injury and the period of Lamine Yamal's call-up to the Spanish national team may have fueled tensions. This coincided with the national team match, but that does not mean there was any bad faith on either side, he clarified. On the contrary, The president sought to reassure by stating that the Spanish national team treats the player well and that no friction remains between the two institutions. "We are all thinking about Lamine's well-being," he repeated, insisting on the unity of intent between the club and the federation. Lamine Yamal, a mature, committed, and admired player, asked about the lifestyle and maturity of the young prodigy. Joan Laporta expressed unwavering confidence. "I am not worried," he declared with assurance, before adding, "He is a player who needs to be protected and supported, but he is much more mature than any other boy his age." A maturity that is reflected not only in his behavior but also in his unwavering commitment to the club. Laporta highlighted Lamine Yamal's exemplary nature, who, despite persistent pubalgia, continues to fight on the pitch with rare determination. He battles against this injury and continues to play. "This is extremely admirable and demonstrates his commitment to the club and the team," he praised, paying tribute to the young forward's mental strength and professionalism. A football genius to protect and support with a tone full of admiration, Joan Laporta extolled Lamine Yamal's exceptional talent, recalling that he embodies the future of FC Barcelona. "Lamine is a football genius," he stated bluntly, before adding, "He possesses extraordinary talent and an impressive mentality for someone so young." For the president, the club's mission is clear: to take care of this rough diamond, protect him from external pressures, and support him in his development so that he can fully express his potential. "We must help him evolve day by day because he has not yet reached his full potential. Over time, he will be even more decisive," he predicted, convinced that Lamine Yamal is destined to make football history. A bright future, but cautious management. While enthusiasm is palpable, Joan Laporta remains realistic. Lamine Yamal's talent must be managed with caution. "We must take care of him," he insisted, aware that media pressure and sporting expectations could weigh on the young player's shoulders. For Barça, the priority is to preserve his physical and mental balance so that he can fully flourish and become the legend he promises to be. In conclusion, this highly publicized issue has served as a reminder of FC Barcelona's fundamental values: transparency, professionalism, and protection of its players. And if Lamine Yamal embodies the hope and future of the club, it is also thanks to the secure environment that Barça strives to provide for him. "We are working to ensure he is available and in good health," Laporta concluded, summarizing in one sentence the club's unwavering commitment to its young prodigy. FC Barcelona accelerates its quest for a new offensive spearhead, Victor Osimhen, the strategic asset to revive the Blaugrana attack. As FC Barcelona intensifies its efforts in the transfer market with renewed vigor, a clear priority has emerged: strengthening the offensive sector and finding a worthy successor to Robert Lewandowski. The Catalan club, aware of the urgency to rejuvenate its attack and secure a world-class striker, has refocused its efforts on a player who embodies both immediate effectiveness and long-term potential. After a meticulous analysis of available alternatives and the dismissal of financially unfeasible options, the Blaugrana management has officially put a name on the table: Victor Osimhen, the Nigerian striker who has established himself this season as one of the major figures at Galatasaray. A thoughtful choice, balancing performance and financial pragmatism. This decision is not random. Deco, Barcelona's sporting director, and his team are convinced that Victor Osimhen possesses all the qualities to become the cornerstone of the club's new sporting project. According to the technical department's analysis, Osimhen represents the perfect balance between potential cost and immediate return, two essential criteria in a context where Barcelona must invest wisely and cautiously. The club, still under financial constraints, cannot afford to spend indiscriminately. In this context, Osimhen emerges as a strategic solution, a player who is already accomplished but whose potential for growth remains high, offering both immediate and sustainable returns on investment. A profile tailored for the challenges of modern Barça. FC Barcelona's interest in Victor Osimhen is not limited to his statistics. The Nigerian stands out for a set of qualities that perfectly match the club's current needs. Impressive physical strength. Osimhen is an attacker capable of dominating opposing defenses, thanks to his robust build and intimidating presence in the box. Explosive acceleration. His ability to accelerate over short distances makes him a constant threat to even the most organized defensive lines. Deadly speed in open space. He excels in counterattacks and rapid transitions, a valuable asset for a team like Barça, which seeks to play dynamic and vertical football. Remarkable goal-scoring instinct. Osimhen possesses that sharp sense of goal that is often lacking in modern forwards. He is clinically effective in front of goal, a quality that Barça has missed since Lewandowski's decline. These attributes make him the ideal candidate to revitalize the Blaugrana attack, bringing a more aggressive, modern, and competitive dimension. Osimhen is seen as the kind of player capable of turning a match around with a single action, a much-needed offensive weapon that Barça has desperately sought since its Polish striker showed signs of slowing down. A mental leader, an example for the locker room beyond his technical qualities, it is also Osimhen's psychological profile that has won over the management. Deco and his team have been particularly impressed by his leadership mentality, hunger for victory, and charismatic personality. Osimhen is a born competitor, a player who inspires his teammates with his commitment and determination. This mental strength aligns perfectly with FC Barcelona's philosophy, which seeks players capable of wearing the jersey with pride, taking responsibility, and transmitting positive energy within the locker room. Osimhen embodies this fighting spirit that can raise the level of demand for an entire team, an invaluable quality for a club in reconstruction. A strategic investment for the future. Another argument in favor of Osimhen is that he has not yet reached his full potential. In the eyes of the technical staff, he represents a strategic medium and long-term investment, with significant room for growth within Barca's sporting project. His acquisition cost, while substantial, remains much more accessible than that of other market superstars, such as Erling Haaland, whose fees are prohibitive for a club still under financial constraints. This cost difference makes the operation much more viable, allowing Barça to strengthen its attack without compromising its economic balance. In a context of strict financial fair play, this pragmatic approach is essential to avoid the excesses of the past. A natural transition for the Blaugrana attack. The Catalan leaders see Osimhen as much more than just a replacement for Lewandowski. His arrival would mark the beginning of a new era for Barca's attack, combining the Pole's experience, which remains a reference for the locker room, with the youth and dynamism of the Nigerian. This natural transition would strengthen the offensive sector while bringing increased versatility to the team. The idea is to create a complementary duo, where Lewandowski could pass on his expertise to Osimhen while benefiting from his physical freshness to extend his own career at the highest level. A synergy that could give Barça a formidable attack, capable of competing with the best teams in Europe. Initial steps to finalize the transfer. Sources close to the club indicate that Barça has already begun the initial steps to finalize this operation. Preliminary contacts have reportedly been established with the player's entourage and Galatasaray representatives to assess the conditions for a potential transfer. The Blaugrana management is confident the operation could be carried out within the limits imposed by financial fair play while offering the club a high-impact signing. Osimhen is seen as a player capable of immediately making his mark on Barca's history, restoring the attack to its former glory. A symbolic recruitment for a new era. In summary, the potential arrival of Victor Osimhen is much more than just a signing. It would represent the beginning of a new offensive cycle for FC Barcelona. A player who would combine energy, youth, and ambition while embodying the values of a club seeking rebirth. With Osimhen, Barca would not only find a striker but also acquire a leader, a symbol of renewal, ready to take on the responsibility of being the new face of the Blaugrana attack. His arrival would mark the beginning of a new era, where Camp Nou would regain a striker of character, talent, and personality, a player capable of carrying the hopes of a club eager to return to the summit of European football.